Yo, what's going on, guys? Evan Tanaka here, back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be making the best possible team in NBA 2K22 right now. In my team, it is November the 18th, so that is the day I'm recording it. It should come out like 2 hours after I record it, but just in case something happens and it comes out a couple of days later, but it shouldn't. It should be out today. But we're going to be making our best team possible. So as you guys can see on the screen, we got 13 positions here. I'm probably just going to do the first 10, right? Starting 5 and then our backup 5. But we may do the last 3 depending on the team and just depending on how it goes. Let me know in the comment section down below what you would change about my team and why. Like, just tell me, like, maybe there's a position you'd rather change. You don't want this player and you want to replace him with this player. Tell me why. I want to hear your guys' answers down below in the comment section. If you guys are new here, I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe down below. I post 2 to 3 Myteam videos every single day and give some of the best no spend content, tips, and tricks on the platform. Okay, guys, and here we are. The start of the list. We are going to go with Gary Payton as our point guard. I still believe Gary Payton is the best point guard in NBA 2K22. My team, I feel like he's a great defensive point guard. He can score for you a little bit on offense, but I don't think he is the best offensive point guard in the game, but he's probably the best defensive point guard in the game. That's why he's on this list, or on this team. Also, guys, this is made before the Friday drop, so that's why there might be a card on Friday that comes out like crazy. Also, guys, this is taking into fact that I have every reward card in the game that is available, and I have I'm unlimited MT, so I can buy any card in the game, any card that's been out of the game. So not like actual, but or not Dark Matter, Dirk Nowitzki in the collector level, any card that we can obtain right now. So John Morant is not on this list because we can't obtain him yet. The shooting guard position is going to be Diamond Klay Thompson. I do believe this is probably the best card in the game. You can disagree with me if you want, but I do think Klay Thompson is probably the best shooting guard in the game, and I do believe he also may be potentially the best card in the game. I think Klay Thompson has no flaw. I don't know what Klay Thompson's flaw is. Me and on my stream, and I talked to some other people, we went through Klay Thompson's stat and we tried to find one singular flaw, and we generally could not find a singular flaw, except for maybe that his jump shot isn't the best. But it's not a bad jump shot at all. It is an amazing jump shot. It's just not like base 98 or base 3 or like Ray Allen base or Trey Burke base. It's not that, but it's still an amazing release, right? Klay Thompson has 0 flaws in this game. It's 75 driving dunk. Trust me, if you had posterizer on gold and limitless takeoff on gold, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have those, because I added them on mine, I'm pretty sure. He can dunk over anybody. Even without those, I feel like he's 75 driving dunk. It feels like a 95, to be honest with you. Great defense, like 95 perimeter defense or something like that. Like, he's got like really insane defense. We all know he's got like a 96 3 ball, and now he's got 95 ball handle, 95 speed or something like that. Like, he is like unguardable. It's crazy. He can lock down any people on the perimeter. I think Klay Thompson is probably the best card in the game, but definitely the best shooting guard in the game by far. And the best small forward in the game, in my opinion, is Paul George. Now, if you're looking at this team, guys, this defensive lineup, these 3 is insane. They are all super good at defense. Like, I don't know who's scoring on these 3 guys, because the best defensive point guard in the game, the best defensive shooting guard in the game, and the best, probably not the best defensive small forward in the game, because there's someone like AK, but he has great defense. Paul George is probably the 2nd or 3rd best card in the game for me. I think I would say Klay Thompson over Paul George. That is probably debatable, but it's probably because I have Klay Thompson, I don't have Paul George. I've seen Paul George gameplays. I've seen people, competitive guys, use Paul George. He's amazing. He's definitely the best small forward in the game. I think Klay Thompson might be a little bit better, but Paul George, talking about Paul George, he is a great offensive wing. He's probably the best 3 and D card in the game other than Klay Thompson, because again, he has such good defense. Don't need to talk about Paul George too much. We already know what he can do. Kevin Durant, though, is somebody else we don't really need to talk about too much. It is Kevin Durant. This card came out a little bit ago, and he's still the best power forward in the game, in my opinion. I think Paul George is better at the 3 than Kevin Durant is at the 3, and Kevin Durant's obviously better at the 4 than Paul George is at the 4, because he's a little bit taller, or no, they're the same height, but he's a little bit better wingspan. He's a little bit lankier, and I think he has a little bit better interior stats. And Paul George only has like a 50 block, so you definitely cannot run Paul George at the 4. That is Paul George's weakness, is his 50 block, so you have to run Paul George at the 3. Kevin Durant, though, amazing 4. He can stretch the floor from you. He can play great defense. Not incredible defense, but he can play pretty good defense. But his perimeter defense is okay, but he can create for you on offense. He has shifty dribble style, so that means he can create for himself. I think Kevin Durant, we don't need to talk about for too much. I think Kevin Durant is obviously an amazing card everybody already knows about. And for me, the best center in the game is going to have to be David Robinson, or Mr. Biceps. We'll just use, again, the NBA 75th anniversary because he can get gold in the spot, and he can get gold quick first step. Two really important badges. I think D-Rob has the best big man release besides Anthony Davis, but I feel like he's 7'1" compared to Anthony Davis is 6'10". He has a rebound chaser. Anthony Davis, remember Anthony Davis' flaw? He didn't really have good rebounding. He still got rebounds, but he doesn't have that good of rebounding stats. That's D-Rob. I think D-Rob is just an upgraded, I think a taller version and a better rebounding version than Anthony Davis. I think they play around the same level. Like they play the same, except David Robinson is 7'1", Anthony Davis is 6'10". David Robinson can snag rebounds. AD kind of lacks on the rebounding end because he's 6'10", and because he has bad rebounding stats, and because he doesn't have rebound chaser. So a bunch of stuff that D-Rob has over AD. That's why he is starting over AD. But D-Rob, great release. He can move with the ball a little bit, but again, for bigs right now, you just want to pick and pop big who can grab rebounds, shot block, and we all know David Robinson's shot blocking and rebounding stats and animations are just amazing in this game. So guys, that is my starting lineup for the best possible team in the game. Let me know what you guys think down below. What would you change about the starting lineup? I think this is pretty much what most people would say for the best starting lineup in the game. Maybe a few people change some stuff, but for me, this is my best starting lineup in the game. Now let's get on to the bench. Bench point guard is going to have to be Mr. IT. He is, I believe, still to be the second best point guard in the game. I think he's just a Gary Payne clone, just without as good defense, but a little bit better slashing. He's 6'1" compared to Gary Payne 6'4", but I do believe Isaiah Thomas is the second best point guard in the game. He's glitched, so he's got that 95 driving up with Hoff posterizer and Hoff limitless takeoff, if I'm not mistaken. So this card dunks over everybody. He has some really good dunk animations. He can definitely dunk the ball really, really good and from far out, which is really important. His jump shot, I actually do like quite a bit. Some people do not like his jump shot, but I am a pretty big fan of his jump shot. I think I like his jump shot a little bit better than Gary Payne's, which might surprise a lot of people. I think a lot of people like Gary Payne's release better than Isaiah Thomas, but I think Isaiah Thomas has a little bit better release than Gary Payne. But Gary Payne starts over Isaiah Thomas because of that defense. With how important defense is, and just being able to lock down your opponent with a game that's hard to score, I feel like Gary Payne has that edge. Also 6'4" compared to 6'1". Shooting guard, Donovan Mitchell. So guys, I want to say something about Donovan Mitchell and how this lineup runs. If you watch my video that I just posted right before this one, it is how to arrange your team. And I always said, if you cannot run Isaiah Thomas and Donovan Mitchell on the same line, right? So if I was to play a game with this team, Donovan Mitchell would be starting for me. But I'm basically just ranking like the top 5 and then the top and the back of 5, right? If I were to run a game, if I was to run a game with them, going to unlimited or going to competitive setting right now, like right after this video, what I would do is 100% run Donovan Mitchell starting and Klay Thompson off the bench. This is what I would run for my point guard, my shooting guard, my backup point guard, my backup shooting guard. That's what I would run. Okay, so but I'm gonna have Klay Thompson starting just because that's the best starting lineup in the game. But if you're gonna run, if you want to build the best team in the game, or we're debating the best team in the game, I don't recommend to run Donovan Mitchell with Isaiah Thomas. But I'm just doing that like he's the best second shooting guard. Like basically, it's just like who's best point guard, who's the best shooting guard, who's the best small forward, who's the best power forward, who's the best center, and then who's the second best point guard, second best shooting guard. So I think Donovan Mitchell is a little bit worse than Klay Thompson, and I have Donovan Mitchell at my backup shooting guard, aka my second best shooting guard in the game. People will disagree with that one a lot. There's a bunch of D-Mitch slander. There's a bunch of people who do like D-Mitch, which I'm on that side. Again, totally understand if you want to go Jaylen Brown, you want to go Kobe Bryant, you want to go Vince Carter. Apologies if I'm missing another pretty good shooting guard in there, but I know JB is a lot of people that say better than Donovan Mitchell. I hear Kobe Bryant, I hear Vince Carter. I do understand those are really, really good cards, but for me, in my playstyle, I think Donovan Mitchell is an amazing card for me, and he's always played really good for me. And for my backup small forward, we're going to have to go with AK or Kirilenko, Andre Kirilenko. He is probably the best lockdown defender in the game, so he's going to help with that Donovan Mitchell if he plays on his line, but he would play with Klay Thompson, so that's fine. But I'm just saying, anyways, AK is, in my opinion, the third best small forward in the game, technically, because KD is a small forward. But for this list, he's technically the second best small forward in the game. That is due to the fact, just because of his defense. You put him on ball, so let's say they have a Steph Curry, they have a Gary Payne, they have a Klay Thompson, they have a Paul George, they have a Kevin Durant. You stick AK onto him, and trust me, they won't score as much as they should, right? But so if you have someone like a Kevin Durant on a Paul George. Paul George probably cooks Kevin Durant if the player is good, right? You put AK on Paul George, you'll see a massive difference. That's why AK is so valuable, because of his defense. And again, he's a great jump shot. I like his release a lot. He's an 83 ball. He has some shooting badges, but his defense is basically where it's at. But he can shoot three. It's not like he can't shoot a 3 ball. It's not like he can't create. He can still create for himself a little bit. He can still shoot the ball pretty well. But he's mainly known for his defense and mainly on the team because of his defense. So that is our backup small forward. And for backup power forward is a card I think is amazing and is on my team right now. Again, we'll go with the mask one because we have unlimited MT. I would recommend, not using the mask ones. But hey, if we have the MT, we're going to spend them. We're going to spend it on the mask ones, right? But I think Dolph Schayes is the second best power forward in the game. Debatably better than Kevin Durant, but I would probably still have Kevin Durant over Dolph Schayes if I had unlimited MT. Dolph Schayes is 200k compared to KD's like 500k, so I'd recommend pick up Dolph over KD. It's not that much of a difference, so I'd rather KD over Dolph, but for MT wise, I would rather Dolph over KD if you know what I'm saying. But Dolph Schayes, really good card. He's a great popping big. He can still rebound the ball really well. And at that 4 spot, he's going to provide a pretty big man role for the power forward position to go alongside Kevin Garnett, who is going to be our second best center in the game. I do believe that. Again, this is another controversial one. The bench could be pretty controversial because, again, somebody on this list is not Carmelo Anthony. But this could be a very controversial center, Kevin Garnett, because we know there's well, everyone should say D-Rob is better than KG. I do personally believe that, but people might argue Marc Gasol, they might argue Sabonis, they might argue Anthony Davis. I might miss a center or two here, Dikembe Mutombo. I think a lot of people think KG is better than Dikembe Mutombo, but KG for me, I think is the second best center in the game because of his defense. I know Sabonis is great, I know Marc Gasol is great, and they provide a different kind of play style. But I think for my play style and for how I play and how I think a lot of people do plays, I want that great defending big who just on offense just needs to set screens and pick and pop. I don't need a Sabonis. I don't need a half bullet pass from Sabonis. I don't need a Marc Gasol who can pull from range with 93 ball. I just need a guy that can get goal limit spot up and that can just shoot from pretty deep out, have an okay release, can green some shots for me. But on the defensive end, he is going to get you stops with Hall of Fame interceptor. He's going to play amazing defense. He's going to lock down the post. And I think for my lineup, for my team, I really do like KG. And so guys, that is my starting 5 and my backup 5, so my best 10 players in the game kind of thing. Let me know in the comment section down below, like I said, what you guys would change. I know there's a few things a lot of people would change, but let me know what they would be and why you would want to change that. For the last 3 positions, we're not going to talk about them too much, but I would probably have, again, I haven't really thought about this, but I'd probably do Carmelo Anthony. And then for the next 2, again, guys, I haven't really thought about this. I do believe this Shawn Marion card, again, for my playstyle, Hall of Fame interceptor, I really do like the look of Shawn Marion. I think he has a really good defensive playstyle, and he has he's basically like AK, but a little bit worse than AK. But you could run Shawn Marion over AK. I wouldn't be mad if you ran Shawn Marion over AK, but I think AK is just a little bit better than Shawn Marion. And the last card I am going to have is a center that a lot of people do want to see on this list or on this team is going to be Sabonis. A lot of people are big fans of the Sabonis card. I am a big fan of him. I'm not saying just because I have KG over him doesn't mean I'm saying the card's bad. I just think KG is just a little bit better than him. Don't know why it's not letting me type in his name. So Sabonis is going to be our 13th man on our team, just to give us, a couple wings and then a center, because I don't feel like we have very good many point guards. I don't really want Steph Curry or Pete Maravich or Tyrese Maxey. They just don't fit my play style. Well, Tyrese Maxey does, but Curry and Pete Maravich, for me, don't make my team. I think Melo and Shawn Marion are a lot better for my play style, as well as Sabonis will play really good for my play style as well. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought about the team, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.